Our next guest is the Director of Athletics at Dixie State University, entering his 7th year. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jason Boothe. Jason, welcome to Media Day.
Thanks, Carrick.
Thanks for being here. A lot has happened since the last time that we met in this setting in Media Day. Facilities upgrades, Trailblazer rebranding, not to mention continued success of our teams. I'm just going to say it, and I think you would agree. I don't think there's been a better time to be part of Dixie State Athletics.
No, you're absolutely right. And we say it every year that, things just, there's only one constant thing in athletics, and that's change. But in our case, thankfully, every year it's been change for the better, just growing and getting stronger and stronger as you go. And as you alluded to, this past year has been phenomenal with rebranding to the Trailblazers has been widely just lauded and just loved and accepted in the community and amongst the team. So that is fantastic. We're very excited about that. You can see some of the changes behind you there on the set. It's been fantastic. And of course, the amazing support shown by Shane and Sean from Legend Solar, and to give us that donation to get our much needed renovations of that stadium going is phenomenal. I mean, it's huge for us, and it's going to mean so much to, and we're so excited to have it be Legend Solar Stadium now.
A question that I run into from time to time as I'm out in the community, talking with friends and people, how really has the rebranding been taken from the community standpoint, and what's the feedback that we've received on that?
It's been nothing but positive. I mean, and it's starting to look like a university town now. I mean, immediately when we announced that, we had the banners up on the boulevard, and we've got a campaign out there now for local businesses to buy fiberglass bison to put in front of their business and paint them and have them moved around town and just show their support for Dixie State University. For that, that's at one end of the spectrum. At the other end of the spectrum, just putting a simple window cling in their front window of their business saying proudly supports Dixie State. That's phenomenal. That is just something that we haven't really had very much of. But now with that identity, it gives people something to display and to show their support and to latch onto. So it's been phenomenal. We couldn't have had it gone any better than it has.
Questions from our media.
What's sort of the progress with the fundraising on the football stadium? Because obviously you had the huge donation earlier this year, but have you guys been able to start to get momentum and other fundraising with that?
Yeah, we've gotten a few more donations that have come in that will allow us now to get started on that first phase. Mm-hmm. So you'll see, we're in the planning stages now, that behind the scenes stuff, so that when we do break ground, we know what we're building. So architectural and all that stuff. But I foresee right after the first of the year, we'll start to be turning dirt and making some physical changes there.
And that first phase, that's with the track and the turf.
The track,
correct?
And the turf, and the extra seating on the east side with the building underneath. That's the first phase.
Okay.
Busy off season for you. Lots of coaching changes really since we've been here last fall for the Fall Sports Media Day.
Yep.
I'm sure a lot of people are curious about some of the new coaches. If you can, maybe just take a minute and talk to us about some of the new additions to the staff and some of the certain sports.
Well, you just spoke with several of them here for football, so that was the biggest one. In terms of numbers and size of program. So the other one, women's basketball, J.D. Gustin is coming in with a whole new staff as well to lead the women's basketball side. In the spring, we have Lindsay Stuckey's taken over the women's golf program after Rachel stepped down to she's moving to Mexico with her husband as he goes to medical school. And so all the changes that we've had have been fantastic. We're so fortunate to have good quality people that want to be here and be a part of this program. So I'm excited, and we're hiring the strength coach position now. We're going through that, and incredible candidates as well for that. So that change that person hopefully will be here by Labor Day-ish for maybe the second week of September. So, and then we can really be fully staffed and ready to go for the fall.
One of the other big storylines this summer was the RMAC came into town and was on campus, and a lot of interest from the conference on Dixie State exploring joining in all sports. Can you give us what now after they've left it's been like behind the scenes and where the process is right now?
Well, the nice part about this whole process is that we're in the driver's seat. That's that we are wanted either way you go. In a lot of cases, in these other all the shifting and all that going on in Division I, schools want to be a part of conferences, but they may not be wanted. That's the rub. But we're wanted. like big time. And that's a large credit due to our coaches and our student athletes of how well they've performed over our brief time in Division II. But where we're at is that we're just finalizing a recommendation from the task force, getting all the information together and weighing all the pros and cons on each side. And there's very good reasons to go either way. And there's no clear-cut decision that it's just so obvious, because if it was, I could have done that myself. But
Right.
which is why we employed the task force to help us to just make sure we got all angles covered for the best decision for the university long term. And that's what it's about. It's not about what's the best thing for the football program, or what's the best thing for the basketball program, or what's the best thing what do I want? No, it has nothing to do with that. It's what's the best thing for the university long term.
So no timetable, no rush, no.
No, because if we were to decide, yeah, hey, we're going to do the RMAC, we wouldn't be competing in there until the fall of 18. So we have time, and they ultimately, if that's the route we end up going, they have to ultimately vote us in. And so that wouldn't happen until later this fall. So it's not just, hey, we want to go to the RMAC, okay, you're in. No, it's we got to vote in. Or if we decide to stay in the Pac West, then that's a quicker decision, and then it's over and done with because nothing changes.
Coach, talk a little bit about the things you have done to increase more student support. I mean, you got good community support for the most part, but most times the stands have a lot more community than they do students. Have you guys done things to address, getting more students to arenas? And
we're trying. It's an ongoing battle, and we're not alone in that. There's a lot of, you go meet with other athletic directors in schools at conferences and stuff. It's a constant, what do you do to get the students there? Which is crazy because it's free for students. You think that would be just so obvious, they just come. Well, no, they have a lot on their plate and a lot of demands of their time, jobs. And then you factor in that we're a commuter campus. It's not like we have, 8,000 students and 7,500 are living on campus. There's not that many living right here. And then when you factor in all the other responsibilities they have, we have to convince them to come, and we get that. But we have done some things in the off season. We're actually launching an app, like a rewards program for students to just get them engaged and get them to earn points and just to build things. The student group that used to be called the D Crew is now been rebranded the Stampede, in line with the Trailblazer theme, and it's run out of student government. And they've added some leadership in that will really get that group going. So with that group, if we could get a couple hundred kids there a night, that'll make a huge difference. So we're making progress, but it will also help to get the teams off to very strong starts in the fall, especially football. If we win the first couple games, that will lead to more and more attendance. Last fall, we had great attendance our first couple games. And then based upon scheduling too, sometimes if we have a game over the fall break, it's going to be hard to get attendance, and that really hurts us sometimes, which we can't control that. So,
do you think the addition of the on-campus dormitories will increase?
Oh, for sure, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Another 350 students on campus that weren't here last year, it'll really help.
What do you think the biggest rival will be in football in the RMAC, in your opinion?
Colorado Mesa in Grand Junction, 5 hours away. They're strong. We've played them historically in the past. Will be a big one, and Colorado Mines, because they're very good. Will be a natural rival, and then of course Pueblo for the same reasons. But I could see Fort Lewis and Adams State being on that western slope of Colorado, meaning closer proximity, being some pretty strong rivals for us too.
And I know it takes some time to kind of see how those outcomes play out.
But that's why I say Colorado Mesa, because we've already have a history there, and even a recent history with them.
Well, Jason, we appreciate you stopping by and being part of the media day. It's good to check in with you from time to time and just get the athletic administration perspective from it. So we appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks.